Imagine for a second that you're a college football player at Kentucky. I'm going to pick Kentucky for a reason. They're not really known for being a powerhouse in football. Kentucky is a basketball school. You have been the starting quarterback at Kentucky for 3 years. You're going into your senior season. Every year during your first 3 years, the team has improved. Freshman year, you're 7-5. Sophomore year, you're 9-3. Junior year, you go 10-2. Make it to the college football playoffs and lose in the first round. Going into your senior season, Kentucky is one of the favorites to win the national championship. This is supposed to be your year. 3 years of hard work. Finally, it's going to pay off. A few months before the season begins, the NCAA makes a surprising announcement. In the interest of fairness, we had decided to let the Detroit Lions compete at the college level. You see, the Lions have never been able to win at the NFL level. It's only fair that we allow them to compete in college. This will help boost their confidence, their morale, their self-esteem. We must practice inclusion. How would you feel about that? I don't even have to ask you how you feel. You would be pissed off. You would feel cheated. As a senior at Kentucky, you don't stand a chance. The Lions would walk to the national title. They would beat every team by 30, 40, 50 points. Now, obviously, this scenario would never happen. Well, I say it would never happen. You never know nowadays. 2 years ago, if I told you the entire world would shut down over the flu, you would say that will never happen, but it did. We are living in times where you should expect the unexpected. Anything outside the norm, anything weird, social justice warriors are going to try to normalize. If the Detroit Lions were allowed to play at the college level, the backlash would be severe. The mainstream media would crucify the NCAA. So let me ask you this. Where's the same backlash when it comes to Lia Thomas? The few mainstream media outlets that happen to cover Lia Thomas, they do nothing but praise her. The bravery of this woman or person who fails to identify with a specified gender. We're a bit confused on which proper pronouns to use, but nonetheless, we admire this person's bravery. It took courage to wake up one morning and identify as a female, walk into a pool with a swinging dick, and dominate women swimming. The courage is undeniable. You know, it's funny. The woke media, they're always complaining about the lack of attention that women's sports receive. No one gives a shit about the WNBA. Women's college basketball, they have a decent-sized following, but nothing compared to the men. The LPGA, barely noticed. Softball, barely gets noticed. The media, they constantly try to shove the WNBA down your throat. No one pays attention. They constantly complain that no one gives a shit about women's sports. Where's all the attention? Where's all the coverage when it comes to Lia Thomas and women's swimming? Here you have a woman breaking every fucking record in the book. Yet a large majority of the mainstream media, and I'm looking at you, ESPN, they completely ignore Lia Thomas. It's a bit strange, don't you think? The NCAA championships in swimming are being held right now in Atlanta, the city of transgender and non-binary love. I'm just kidding. Atlanta's a great city. We all know the city of transgender and non-binary love is San Francisco. But anyway, the prelims were held earlier this morning. The grouping consisted of 7 female swimmers, along with another person with a jet engine in their pants. They had to clear the gym once Lia Thomas finished swimming. The jet fumes were so thick coming out of her ass, officials were concerned people were going to start passing out. Take a look at this close race. Notice how competitive it was. Also, I want you to pay attention to one thing. The graphic is going to show you Lia Thomas finishing first by a mile. But I want you to listen closely. Listen to the crowd reaction when Lia Thomas finishes. Then listen to the crowd a few hours later when second and third place finally finish. Roll the film. Did you catch it? Lia Thomas finishes first, setting the best time in the country in the process. Crowd deathly silent. You could hear a mice pissing on cotton. Second, third place, they finish up. The crowd cheers. And I thought it was interesting that the second place finisher was Brooke Forde, daughter of avid social justice warrior Pat Forde. When I share these comments in just a second, you will see the apple did not fall far from the tree. Brooke Forde is an Olympic swimmer. Now, some of you might see her finishing second place and feel sorry for her. It's not fair. She's a woman swimming against a damn man. I have no sympathy for Brooke Forde. Back in January, she was interviewed by Swimming World magazine. During the interview, she said, "I have no problem competing against Lia. We're besties. Social change is slow, and we rarely get it right the first time. Treating people like Lia with respect and dignity is much more important than winning some trophy or championship." I'm glad you feel that way, Brooke, because you have no chance at winning. I agree. People should be treated with respect and dignity. No one is saying Lia Thomas doesn't deserve to be treated humanely. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a damn man competing athletically against women. If anyone is being disrespectful in this scenario, it's Lia Thomas. She doesn't have any respect for the other young women on her team or the young women she's competing against. She is being 100% selfish. Brooke Forde told Swimming World, "In 2020, I experienced what it was like to have my chance to achieve my swimming goals taken away from me. My years of hard work were wasted. I wouldn't wish that experience on anyone, so we shouldn't do that to Lia." No one is taking away opportunities from Lia Thomas, or should I say, Will Thomas. I don't remember anyone kicking him off the men's swim team at Penn. Did I miss something? Was Will Thomas not considered man enough to continue swimming against the dudes? No, quite the opposite is happening. Lia Thomas is taking away opportunities from other young women. Recently, Pat Forde said that people like me, who are critical, who are wound up in his own words about Lia Thomas being able to compete against women, we don't give a damn about women's sports. Well, Pat Forde's absolutely right. I don't give a shit about women's sports. I damn sure don't care about swimming. Men's swimming, women's swimming, dolphin swimming. I don't care. But there's a reason I continue talking about this. The mainstream media won't do their jobs and cover this story like it should be covered. These young women who aren't comfortable or competing against or who are not comfortable being on the same team with Lia Thomas, their voices are being silenced. Someone has got to speak up for them. It's damn sure not going to be Stephen A. Smith. He is more likely to ask Lia Thomas over for a fucking slumber party than say anything negatively about her. ESPN, they don't allow common sense talk on their network. These young women, the few that do have a little bit of courage to speak out, they're speaking anonymously. One of the women on the Penn swim team, they just gave an interview to Fox News. She blasted Lia Thomas, claiming swimming in the Ivy Leagues no longer has integrity. She said Lia Thomas winning, breaking records, is no achievement. Well, no shit. She shouldn't be competing to begin with. 2 months ago, the NCAA kicked the can down the road, said they were going to allow USA Swimming to determine the eligibility of Lia Thomas. USA Swimming, they implemented stringent standards, would have likely disqualified Lia Thomas from competing. At that point, the NCAA, they decided to step in, take back the decision themselves. Implementing new rules at this time would be unfair and could be detrimental to our student athletes. Bullshit. New rules would have been detrimental to one student athlete, Lia Thomas. It would have benefited the other 300 plus swimmers. The truth is, the NCAA, they don't give a damn about their student athletes. The only thing they care about is being left alone by the woke. Like I've been saying for months, there was a simple solution to this Lia Thomas problem. These young women should have banded together and refused to compete against her. If young women across the Ivy Leagues had done this, Lia Thomas would have disappeared 3 months ago, but they didn't. So I have trouble sympathizing with them. Speaking anonymously to Outkick, Fox News, that accomplishes nothing. The interview gets circulated around in conservative circles. You're basically speaking to the fucking choir. But if you put your name to what you're saying, then you might can change something. These young women, they should have never been put in this position in the first place by Penn or the NCAA. The adults should have handled this for them. It was a simple problem to solve. Lia or Will, do you still have a dick in your pants?
Yes, I do, a rather big one.
That's great. You're swimming against the dudes. I don't care what you change your name to. I don't care if you grow your hair long. I don't care if you identify as a woman. I don't care if you're offended. I don't care if you organize the woke brigade and protest. If you have a dick in your pants, you're a fucking man and you're competing against other men. It's that simple. But in today's times, that would have required courage from the NCAA. It would have required balls. Something that is severely lacking in the most useless institution in America. Don't worry though, ladies. When it comes to women's basketball, the NCAA has your back. We're giving you extra dumbbells. When it comes to women's swimming, they could care less. Wouldn't surprise me if they allowed sharks to compete next year. Sharks are non-binary, you know. They deserve the opportunity to compete too. We can't leave them out because they don't have a gender. Let me get out of here. Link to the channel on Rumble's in the description below. Also, link to the Patreon is down there as well. If you want to support the channel financially, head on over to Patreon and sign up. Always appreciated. Give me your thoughts on Lia Thomas. More specifically, the lack of crowd reaction to her first place finish. Also, are you surprised at the lack of mainstream media coverage with Lia Thomas? Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.